Time for a factory tour, I think. This is obviously concrete. Boring. This over here was my original little factory. I had copper on this side where these power storage units now are. I was reading that display wrong. This is ready to be stripped out. Literally just got the screws to take off the conveyor. I don't know why I haven't stripped that out yet. This was a hodgepodge of machinery, and I've been trying to get all the grassland back. This is where I had my first coal generators, and it was a nightmare of a setup. Still got water pipes left to remove. And then I decided to try shifting it all up here and make a mega factory, which was going to be base components getting made over there and then assembled over there, giving me a mini mall here. It was shit. It was terrible. The more I tried to get it to work, the less it worked. I mean, I even planned for like cars coming through, but no. The more I tried to make it work, the more mistakes I could see in it. Quick switch to my grapple, because this is how I get to my mall once I've picked up some resources for the mall. That is literally just making screws, because one of those wasn't getting enough screws. The bad side, with the simple doors. Space elevator! I love this roof. I think it looks like it's opening, and then it's like fully open for the space elevator. Control panel. They're just part of my space elevator design. And then the cool entrance with the awesome double doors. Love those double doors. And my mom, the zip line through it. Literally, that cable's just there for a zip line. My quick build manufacturers. I'll show you this side rather than that side. Oh, I've got some batteries. I could make some of them. I'm not going to, because I've got to make so many of them. It's not worth doing them in small orders. So the mod I was telling you about before is awesome. This takes the recipe, splits up into the 4 components. The top one takes the recipe, splits it, grabs a certain thing, splits that array, and then it feeds out, giving me the display units. And then these little ones are literally just for the number display. So for example, I've got no modular frames in there, put some modular frames in, and it gives me a live count. So I can see why I'm not making any, for example, heavy modular frames. And that is my... Oh, no, don't go in there. Oh, don't get stuck either. Oof. That was nearly disastrous. That over there. I'll zoom in photo mode, because I can't go through over there. That's making my steel. And apparently I'm not making enough ingots to feed the constructors on top. So my production's a bit slow on them, but I'm not in a big hurry for them. I don't have a big use for them. Oh. Should have had my hover pack on, then I could have stopped at the train station properly. These back 8 don't get enough fuel. I'm literally just not making enough. It should be those back 8, not this back 8. I'm literally not making enough compacted coal per minute to feed them, but the rest is all online. So it's a 40 out of 48, but it's still pretty wicked. These are making my heavy modular frames, mostly using imports. like literally purely using imports. I'll explain that to you in a second. Oh, that's just making the iron parts, and then I've got an import of these, which are industrial cased beams, steel pipes. I think your screws out here. Oh no, your modular frames. Yeah, I have the rest of my modular frames. That one's screws, which was a pain in the ass to get started, because I need to do some load balancing in there to get it working. But if I do import screws, modular frames, if I start importing them, switch to my hover pack. Yep, logistics. And this top line here is just pure iron ore on it. And that's what I mean by it's working purely on imports. I would take you over there, but it's boring over there. It's just a really base factory. Ooh. This was my first train station. Yeah, this was my first train station built. It's the little one down here that is an offshoot. But zooming in photo mode, you can just about see it, just above my grapple there. That one's had to be rebuilt because my original placement was crappy to join this line. That one got rebuilt, and I believe that's the one that set the height for this one, which makes me wonder which order I actually built all my train lines in, which is annoying. That one's just making my compacted coal over there. It's you can see them just underneath this archway here. There's 12 machines there taking the sulphur and coal deposits, turning it into compacted coal, loading it on the train, brings it over here, goes into my factories, and then my train line gives it all power back. That's merit. My second build of coal refineries, which shouldn't be on, but I had a power issue, and I thought they was going to fix it at one point, but it was a bigger issue than that. That's all ready to get stripped down. This little box here is doing my biomass, and is in the early game. If you're still using biomass, before you've sorted out your coal generators and you're still using biomass generators, building one of them is actually more vital, in my opinion, than getting plates and rods and copper all going. That is my iron foundry. I can take resources from that, and it will also replenish because it's got 4 iron mines and some limestone that I haven't actually utilised there. And I want to show you the factory, but I'm going to do that in another video because it's a long jog up there. Unless I just spawn a train. I don't think I can afford a train. I didn't think I could afford a train. And my mum's ready, so I'll see you in a minute. Just a quick note on my way to the mum. I love this hyper tunnel, apart from the fact that there isn't a hole in this wall for the entrance, because it's such a nice little cruise. And it looks like it's just gonna be a quiet little hyper tube, and then oh my god, it's a hyper cannon! And it lands us somewhere near the space elevator. No, slow down, slow down, slow down! Oh. My turbo fuel factory. Initially, I was going to build a supercomputer factory there, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as I hadn't planned anything out. Switch my power, my jump packs. So then this became my supercomputer factory, where this side's the more important because it goes from assemblers, or constructors, sorry, up to assemblers, eventually making me my supercomputers here. And again, I have a more logged in computers, but I think I've got all the resources sorted now, so everything should be getting fed. Yeah, that's good. Because this is relying on imports again of both quick wire and copper ingots. Originally, it was going to be smelting any resources that it got in, but the more efficient I got with it, the more I could set the smelters out, and thus I've got this huge gap here, which needs to be a rebuild and rebalance of the war resources. And because I didn't want to import plastic, because that's now my experimental shelf where I originally got my plastic from, I decided to get my plastic imported as oil. This was doubled over, you can tell by the bars that I left, and it was literally just producing plastic, but more importantly was heavy oil residue to turn into fuel to power the supercomputers. And this balances out my plastics, bins them if I've got too many. It's also taking rubber in now though, because this is half plastic, half rubber, because this produces more. No, that's plastic. That produces 10 heavy oil residue, that produces 20, and with more oil we can make more fuel, and with more fuel we can make more turbo fuel, which I sat idle. Is that because I've got enough turbo fuel? I have enough turbo fuel. I could extend the power. The power. The power! No lighting. This is first floor to cover up the second floor and add more power! And there's a schism down there. That is what we call the void. But they're all sat there, hidden away, pumping out their toxic fumes with plenty of turbo fuel. And I love it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Take the quick way back up. Oh, nighttime. What a time. Oh, this is going to be a boring climb. But it's the only manual way up to the Red Forest factories. I have absolutely no quick way of doing this. No zip lines, no hyper tunnels, just a long, laborious walk. And then it's all gonna be dark when we get up there. Which is fine for showing off the train station and its little carport, but it's terrible for showing the factory. So this is my carport. Cars come in on the right because something in the trains made me do right-hand drive, and I hate it. Being a Brit and proud to be a left-hand driver, though I don't actually drive. And that fuels everything upstairs to the train station. Comes up into the train station, gets smart sorted, so this one gets filled up first, and then that one, which should mean that I get more efficient train output when it comes to actually filling it up with key ingredients. This is a buffer for my imports, which I don't seem to be running at the moment. Oh yeah, I'm not running them at the moment because I don't need them. I've got so much iron ore here that I don't need. Okay. Switch it to cable. Use your manual feed wire to 10 to cable. It's literally just processing off the iron ore that I was expecting to get more. Where are they? Them and them there. Oh, and some industrial beams. But I messed up. I messed up in such a annoying way. It's barely even worth talking about. It's just train logistics. It's train logistics that aren't important enough for me to fix, so why would they be important enough for me to talk about? Get a bit of a rise. And this is my new aluminium factory, which is still being built technically, but it's set there to start refining aluminium ingots now. And I use this entrance instead of the main entrance because it's easier on me. Under this section here, it's literally turning quartz into silica. Quartz comes in, silica comes out. But key component in the ingot creation, my logistics floor. This is the cleanest logistics floor I've ever made. Ignore the clipping here. It's only a little bit of pipe clipping. I could have run the pipe lower and took it back through and made it cleaner, but I didn't want to. So I didn't. My two silica lines coming out of there, and I have to do it as two silica lines because even on my biggest belt, I need more silica than my biggest belts can take. Is it scrap that comes through? Yeah. Once it's finished on that side, anything left comes over this side and fills that out. It's all nice and simple. I have a little gazebo here because this is where the workers that don't exist take the bricks. And this is where it's all refined. Comes in here, comes into these as bauxite, leaves it as an aluminium solution, and outputs to the bit we've just seen. And this is going to be the main entrance once it's built up and designed. I need to put another switch in to turn the water pumps off, because part of the process is these output water, which in an efficient system you need to cycle back into them. I mean, you can just do water pumps and take that water to be used elsewhere, but the idea is if they stop for any reason, it means I've got to come flush this pipe. So I want to put a switch on so I can just turn the pumps off for a little bit. Because I mean, I think I can just flush any of them and it'll go. I was thinking I'd have to put a valve on, but apparently what I've actually done is forgotten to add a pipe in here. And that's doing exactly what I didn't want it to do. So, piss off, don't need rubber for that. Okay, that's going to have to wait until I've gone and got some rubber. I didn't want... This is supposed to be feeding excess into there, but because there's enough uplift on these, it's going to float back. It's also why this is on a raised platform, was to try and help prevent that from happening, but... Yeah. So all the excess water comes back into this little fluid buffer, which I'm going to flush its entire network out. And then that feeds into these, and keeps them topped up, because they've got 2 pumps each, which is just short by this amount of water per minute. Is it? I've done my maths wrong somewhere. That's outputting a lot more water than I thought it did. Oh no. There's not just 180, that's 360, because it takes 2 of them to feed one of the others. I'd forgot my maths, not done my maths wrong. And I'm kind of proud of it. And one of my cutest little things on this. Mind your head. Because this is supposed to be like a double wall, big entrance. But I needed that to deal with my silica issues. So it's sat there. With no power. Because I didn't know it didn't have power. Well, don't like that. One of my favourite tips that I've learnt recently is you can put that onto there. And just do all that. It's clean. And I like that. I love that tape. I don't know how the hell I worked without that tape. And that'll process off my silica, which is the only thing this factory is currently producing, because I haven't hooked up bauxite into it yet, which makes me feel dumb. And I also need to finish on the design of this. So yeah, that's my factory. And fucking zoop. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I love the industrial look of this though. That's why I'm building it like that. I just think I looked at the other windows and that was my design, so I've got a mum to go sort out and then put another hard drive in. And I'll see you all later. One quick update. Do you remember my supercomputer factory? And I said I needed to re-expand. Well, that space has just been used up to turn my copper ingots into copper sheets. And I'm so happy. The copper ingots into copper sheets. My aluminium ingots into aluminium sheets. I need them so I can put in the fastest conveyor belts available to me, which manufacturing needs to deal with the load before. I've got it producing some ingots. It's not at full capacity yet. I don't want to go hunting out the nodes to get it at full capacity, but yeah, I want this down in like 5 minutes. I'm actually really proud because it's apart from the major clipping at the bottom, to be able to just whack up a quick manifold feed in and have machines being made, I'm so happy. Also, I added a new hypertube on that railway line. It's really boring though. It needs more boosters in it, but boosters are really annoying to put in because it means I've got to delete all the hypertube segments to put in a extra entrance so I can expand it, because there's nowhere to cut up hypertubes. It's the only good thing about pipes, is you can cut into a pipeline real easy. Oh, anyways, bye.